Right.
So I got Three Musketeers and I got Butterfinger. Which one do you want?
Wait, you eat that stuff?
Yeah.
But don't you work out? Like, what's the point of working out if you're eating like that?
You think there's no point to working out if you're not eating properly?
I don't think so.
So is exercise a waste of time if you're not eating properly?
I don't know. Is it?
That's what you're here for.
Oh.
I'm the comedic relief.
Well, let me tell the folks how this topic came up. Like many of the other topics that we get ideas from, it's from our members. It's from doing the actual work. So one of our members mentioned that he knows people who work out like he does, but they don't make it a point to eat healthy. So in his mind, he's like, well, what's the point of
wasting
working
your
out?
time,
Yeah, you're not losing any weight. You're not getting any leaner. Your body composition doesn't really change. So why even work out? And then I was like, well, buddy, it doesn't work that
blow
way.
your minds. Put a little Eve on.
In this episode, we're going to discuss why people believe this, and then we're going to make our case for why exercise is one of the best investments, regardless of whether you're dieting or not.
Agreed. Let's do it.
So what do you think? Why would people think that it's a waste of time unless you're dieting?
I think it's a lot to do with what they're told or what they've heard, what they've read, maybe on social media or something like that. Or one of their trainers in their past has told them like, hey, if you don't tighten up and do everything 100%, then you're wasting your time, which obviously we disagree with since we're always here preaching balance to these kind of people.
Yeah, I would say that it's society's obsession with weight loss, and not just that, but the correlation between working out and weight loss.
Yeah.
What's the number one goal that people say they have when they come to us? I wish they said to lose fat, to lose weight.
To lose weight and get a butt.
Yeah, so I think that if they see, and it is true that if you don't tighten up your diet, you probably won't lose weight with exercise alone. However, as we're going to discuss, there's so many other benefits of exercise that have nothing to do with weight.
We hope that people get into exercising for these number of reasons, and then kind of like, the weight comes off over time.
Yeah, the weight, that's like a cherry on top. It's a nice bonus, but I mean, that's wishful thinking. I don't think most people get into working out because I just want to be healthier and stronger, more functional, and have better quality of life.
And we love when we get a client that comes in and they're just like, I don't care about it. I just want to be stronger and I want to feel good. We're like, oh my God, like what a breath of fresh air. Like this is exactly what we want.
So what I want to start by doing is let's try to steelman that argument, right? So
Steelman.
Like for example, my client, he's an educated guy. He didn't meet, like this wasn't like an ignorant thing to say. A lot of people believe that, hey, I'm doing this for XYZ. The diet, not doing the diet is stopping me from achieving whatever results. So why do it if I'm not just going to go all in and actually like get my stuff together when it comes to nutrition? So like make his case. Like what would you say? Like how do you steelman that?
And I think that his case is a valid one because what he wants to do is lose the stubborn little areas of fat that he has, the belly fat or the extra like back fat that you may have. So in his case, I would say, yeah, you're right, because he works out consistently, he eats well, and he still has this little bit like these little pockets of fat that he's trying to burn. So if he's not, he's kind of right. If he's not like on point with his nutrition, then that's going to be a really hard area to lose.
Well, he's not right in the sense that it's not a waste of time.
No,
like that was the statement that I like stopped him in his tracks.
Okay, no.
But I'm not gonna. Right now, we're trying to steelman the argument.
I
right?
don't know. I don't think there's anything you can say that would say it's a waste of time.
I would say that the strongest case that argument has is that if you're exercising solely for changing your body composition and losing weight, then there's an argument to be made that if you don't eat at a calorie deficit and do all these nutrition habits that we talk about in this podcast, then you might in fact not lose weight. You might gain weight. You might not budge at all on the scale.
Especially if you're like him and you're already been training, you exercise outside of here, you play sports, you do all this stuff. You're not a complete beginner, because we know a complete beginner can kind of get away with these things. If you just start a new workout regimen, you will lose some weight and fat.
True.
But he's been at it for a while, so his point of view kind of stands. If you're trying to lose that belly fat, and that's the only reason you're training, and you're not going to see it there if you're not tightening up your diet.
Yeah, and I would also say just another thing in favor of that argument is if you're working really hard and you're busting your ass in the gym and you're doing all this work to then go and like not change your eating habits at all and not lose any weight, I could see how a lot of people would be like discouraged by that and be like, what's the point of even working out? I haven't lost any weight. I'm not getting the results that I want.
Yeah. Okay, can we completely destroy his argument now?
Let's destroy it.
Because that's hurting me.
Go into why exercise has so many benefits that are far beyond.
But we know that exercise has so many more benefits that go beyond weight loss, whether it's physical, mental, some even say spiritual. That's why we're holding hands.
Cut. For sure. So here's my biggest counter argument to this whole thing about if you're not dieting and you're not losing weight, it's not worth it. And that's if your sole purpose is aesthetics, is to look a certain way or to lose weight or body composition, what's stopping you from just doing plastic surgery or taking pills or taking some other method to achieve said goal? Why even exercise at all? If I can achieve losing the belly fat by doing liposuction, why even exercise?
I would guess the risks of surgery kind of scare people. That would be my guess.
Well, it's just a hypothetical, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping you from...
Why not just take a shortcut?
If that's the goal, yeah.
You're working out is hard as shit.
Yeah, my goal is to make $1 million, and it doesn't matter how. Why not just sell drugs?
Well, we're not
Don't
doing
flag
that.
me for that,
We're not
YouTube.
doing that in the back. We don't do any of that stuff.
Or do we?
No, stop.
And I think the logical response to why you wouldn't do that is because you understand that exercise is good for you. At least we all know that. Exercise is good for you. Now, why is it good for you? We're about to get into it. But we can say that it's for many, many reasons beyond the weight loss and how you look.
Yeah, we love the weight loss being like we said, the cherry on top. Because I feel like all the other benefits are so much more important to your overall well-being that the weight should be like, oh, hey, look at that. I lost 5 pounds. Like,
and not everybody wants to lose weight.
No, agreed.
Not the point of exercise for everyone is not to lose weight. Some people don't need to lose weight.
My fitness journey started gaining weight. Now I can't stop gaining weight.
Look at that.
Oh.
My fitness pal. This guy right here.
Aw.
My hands are freezing.
It's so cold. All right, so regardless whether you're dieting or not, physical exercise is one of the most important things that we say it all the time. Movement is medicine. The more you train, the more you work out, the better you're going to feel, the more longevity you'll have. So let's go over some of these. Why is working out so important besides the weight loss thing?
So first, let's go over your physical health benefits. A very obvious one would be cardiovascular benefits. There's reduced risk of all sorts of diseases, and there's really good science to prove this. And these are the very obvious things, right?
Yeah, this is the basic of the basics.
So regardless of your diet, exercise is going to be objectively good for your body, for your lungs, for your heart, for your circulation,
your bones,
all these kind of things that have nothing to do with whether you ate the salad or
the pizza.
ate Mickey's.
So apart from those physical ones, there's also a caveat of mental benefits, including improved confidence, reducing your stress, improving your mood, all these things that we see people come in here, and it's not just saying, oh man, I feel good. It's that they come in and they're like, man, when I get out of here, my mind just feels so much better. I'm happier. I'm nicer to people. Like, I feel like that's something invaluable.
I think we did a whole podcast on this. You can check it out. Just all about mental health. But I feel like that's the biggest, honestly. I think in this day and age where everybody's so stressed, so busy, dealing with so many things, I feel like from our perspective, which we have many years of dealing with many different types of people, I feel like what brought them in is the weight loss, but what keeps them here is the mental health benefits of it. It's undeniable.
Mm-hmm. And you see some people telling you like, man, you guys really like, and it's not to toot our own horn, it's actually the thing that I think we're most proud of, I definitely am, is when people come in here like, you guys, like, coming here makes my day. Like, that for me, honestly, is like what keeps me doing what I do besides working with this dip.
For sure. And then when they realize that when they work out in the morning, when they come here and they do some sort of exercise, their day is better. They feel better. It's like you just said, you listed off all those benefits. You get that simply by exercising. Again, nothing to do with diet. Another really important and an underrated one is just functional ability in everyday life. Of course, you improve aspects like that are obvious, like your strength and mobility and stability, joint health, all those things that make you better at exercise. However, it also makes you better or just improves your quality of life outside, especially as you start getting older. Yep. Once you start having kids and grandkids and, you know, things from carrying groceries or doing yard work, all these type of things, when you're in good shape. And that's another thing that we get a lot that I'm very proud of is when people tell me I can pick up my grandkids. I ran around, you know, with my kids the other day for I don't know how many hours and I didn't feel gassed. I hiked that mountain and I felt great. These are little things that you don't really think about unless you're totally out of shape, and then it all becomes like a burden. Unless
you're trying to chase your grandkids and you feel yourself out of breath or you can't keep up with them. And we see it all the time with our own parents. Our parents are almost 70 and they're able to play with their grandkids and they get up from the floor easily, they bend over, they pick them up.
Just having the energy.
The energy, all of that, I feel, for me, that is worth more than losing weight. Like, I mean, obviously, than losing weight ever could.
Yeah, it hits deeper for sure.
For sure.
Basically, what we're saying with all these benefits is that the simple act of moving your body and moving it against resistance, aka strength training, and doing aerobic work, aka cardio, is beneficial just by virtue of what you're doing, the exercise itself. So I'd like for people to think about exercise as almost like a separate thing. There's exercise, then there's other things that you do that are part of a healthy lifestyle, like nutrition, sleeping habits, stress management, all that kind of stuff. But those are all different buckets. In the bucket of exercise, it's really good for you.
It should be its own bucket.
It's its own bucket, and it's great for you no matter what. So
big bucket.
We don't have to. This is where people start like tripping themselves off. Oh, if I'm not dieting, or oh, what's the point? All right, I'm not sleeping well, or this is a really stressful time in my life. You should still be exercising because it's so damn good for you.
And if you are stressed, it's going to help with the stress. And if you're going through things, if you're struggling with sleep, it's going to help you get better quality sleep.
Exactly.
It literally helps all these other areas of your life.
All these other things. Mental clarity, if you're a student, and literally helps you with your physiology and getting more oxygen and blood flow to the brain. There's so many benefits.
And we see this happen all the time, that people start exercising without the nutritional aspect. They're just exercising, they're getting into their groove. And all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I want to go deeper into this journey. Then they start the nutrition.
Exactly.
And that's fine. That's completely fine.
It's a good way to like get your foot through the door, and then once you've made that habit, then you can start adding things. Because I think a lot of people stress themselves out with, well, if I don't have everything set in place, then I'm
why
not
do
going to
anything
start.
at all? Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. You just went another 6 months of doing nothing and possibly getting fatter and more unhealthy because you decided to. You have this weird idea that if I'm not dieting perfect, then it's all worthless.
That's actually leads to another thing that I wanted to say is, if you're not exercising, the rest of your life is inactive. Like, what are you doing with the rest of your life if you're gonna choose that life of, oh, I'm not eating well, I'm not gonna do anything. You're gonna like relax or like watch Netflix or sit on your ass all day. Like,
it seems weird to you, but yes,
yeah,
that's exactly what they're doing.
Like, that just doesn't seem like a viable. Like, how does that seem like a better option than even if you're just exercising, even if it's 20 minutes a day? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I think it's because we're really good at lying to ourselves, and I think it's just the story that people tell themselves that if I'm not XYZ, all these things, then what's the point? When in reality, the simplest little exercise, 10, 15 minutes a day, is already a big plus.
Yeah, it's a huge plus if you're not doing anything. I mean, that's like...
It's infinitely better than doing nothing.
Infinitely.
And then let me bring something up that's really going to resonate with a lot of our members and listeners here, and that's that not everyone who is into working out or into having a mostly healthy lifestyle wants these like crazy being super ripped and eating this super clean diet to achieve some sort of aesthetic goal. A lot of us, we want to work out and be mostly healthy, but then we also want to indulge here and there. And I feel like that's something that is part of the culture here at BeFit, where it's very common to walk in here and see like, chocolate chip cookies or something like that. And to someone who doesn't understand, who's like more of like a gym bro, like, what the hell? You guys are a gym. You're supposed to be eating healthy.
What kind of gym is this?
And it's like, well, we kind of have cultivated that culture here where, yes, we work out and we're all consistent with exercise, but we'll go out and have a burger. We'll have a glass of wine. Yeah. We'll get shit-faced on a Friday night.
We're completely hammered and forget our podcast.
Black out every now and then.
Obviously.
But seriously.
We don't condone that.
Everyone is going to be like, God, this guy's being really honest.
These guys go hard. These guys party.
But seriously, like that is a segment of the population that wants to also indulge here and there. And I'll give you a perfect example. Were you going to say something? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that we're the type that we're not judgmental. If you want to come in here and be super rigid and eat Tupperware at your parties, we'll support you. We'll knock yourself out. But we're also
derogatory.
No, but we also support, and I think we encourage people to enjoy their life, man. Like, you have one life. And some people are kind of miserable eating those super healthy meals. So we don't want you to be miserable.
Yeah, true. I'll give you a great example, and that's myself. We always talk about old Julian versus new Julian. So the old me did have those very ambitious goals of, I want to be, 5% body fat.
Here's a picture of him right here.
I want to do all this stuff. And that version of myself can't go out on the weekends and drink beer, can't have dessert. There's a lot of sacrifices and trade-offs that it takes to get to that point. Now, if you want to get there, like you said, I have no problem. If I'm your coach, I'm going to get you to whatever your goal is. Of course, I'm going to try to help you maybe think of a goal that's realistic and give you my feedback on what that goal is. However, if you want to be a fitness model, you want to be a physique competitor, all power to you. But you have to understand that comes with certain sacrifices, and not everyone is willing to make those sacrifices. Like, the version of myself now is not willing. Like, I'm very conscious about that.
Haagen-Dazs over abs?
I want to have my IPAs every now and then on the weekends. You know, I want to have my bourbon. I want to hit all alcohol.
Jesus Christ! So this is Julian's. This is an intervention. Julian's intervention. Come in, family and friends. Come in. Everybody, come in.
I'm just being honest.
We got you.
You know, if you tell me no alcohol, you know, it's like no, I don't want to do that. Then but anyway. And also, like, you know, if we want to order pizza every now and then, once in a blue moon, and have with my kids and my wife. You don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, no, I'm on this strict thing. And again, all power to you if you do, but understand that. And guess what? That doesn't affect my workouts. I work out 5-6 days a week religiously. It doesn't matter because there's so many other things that are important to me outside of, am I 5% body fat or not?
And I think that's something that you hear all the time. I see it all the time from, like, we follow a lot of knowledgeable trainers and a lot of respectable trainers. And something they always say is, being shredded is kind of miserable, and I couldn't agree more. That whole and they post these pictures of themselves like super shredded, vascular. Like, look, this is me at 5% body fat. I was miserable and I hated life, and I just wanted a cookie. So that's why we try to find balance, because we know that obviously that looks awesome. It looks awesome to be shredded and all that, but at the same time, is it worth your mental health? Is it worth your happiness? That's something that's up to you, really.
Yeah.
And does it make you happy to be shredded? It might. So, you know.
I think also this ties into like beauty standards and that kind of stuff. And we try really hard to, again, have a culture here where we're not judging you based on your body fat percentage. We're not judging you based on, oh, have you lost any weight or this and that? Like, what's the point? I honestly think that's such a toxic way to look at things. Like, you've been exercising for years and you are still, quote unquote, not like super lean. Who cares? Why not celebrate the fact that you've been working out for years?
Yeah.
Consistency is important. All these other benefits are happening, even if you don't look like a fitness model. I think we have to get that toxic like mentality out of the culture.
And the sad part is, I think if you were to do some sort of like body analysis or like health analysis, the person that's been consistent and might not look the part is in better cardiovascular shape.
For sure.
Their shoulders, their backs are probably healthier than the guy that's like going all out and super shredded and jacked. Like, I'd rather be the healthy one that might not necessarily look super impressive. Like,
or that person that's super shredded, you don't know how much like mental
and
torture they're going through every day. So you might think, and that's the thing about, again, social media, where you have to watch out with, you see these posts and you think, wow, like that's something I aspire to be.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And like you just said, and I've experienced it myself and I've trained many people, those people are usually very, very hard on themselves, very hard for them to be satisfied, to be happy. So be careful what you wish for. You might be a lot happier if you let yourself indulge here and there, and maybe you're not super lean, but you're fit, you're healthy, you can do things. I just think that's probably something better to strive for.
And in that same vein, in the exact same vein, actually, the people we know that are in the best like physical looking shape are the ones with the most body dysmorphia.
Oh, absolutely.
You, when you were at your biggest and most shredded, was still not enough. It was never enough.
Yep. And then you start doing things to further harm yourself because you want to get to that
push,
ideal.
my joints hurt, whatever. No pain, no gain.
Yep. Take God knows what, inject God knows what.
In your God knows where.
Yep.
So as you guys know, we always do a little bit of practical advice. How can we give a little bit of practical advice on this topic?
I think the biggest thing is mindset, right? Is how you look at exercise. You have to be viewing exercise as something that, as a standalone, is incredibly healthy for you. And it's one of the best investments you can make in yourself for everything, not just physical, but mental, emotional, like you said, and spiritual. Sure, I'll throw that in there. Why not? But seriously, it's something that you should be investing in regardless of what you decide to do with nutrition. That's a whole nother bucket that we're not even going to
today we're not talking about food. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We just want you guys to see that exercise in and of itself, like you said, is so valuable, regardless of what you're doing on the weekends, as far as like going out and partying, or either way, you should be looking at this thing as like non-negotiable.
Yeah, and it's empowering in my opinion. You know, it's something that you could do for yourself that is going to pay dividends for a very, very long time. Of course, we're not telling you that nutrition is not important. That's not what we're saying at all. And it is very, very important. And of course, if you want to talk about optimizing and all that kind of stuff, you definitely need to dial in your nutrition, especially if you want to lose weight or fat. However, even without any of that, it's still totally worth it to exercise.
100%. Couldn't agree more. And I think a big part of that mindset thing is also how you perceive exercising. Instead of like, oh, I gotta go train today, is the, I get to go train today. I know it's corny, but it's like, man, if you were to, God forbid, be unable to work out for whatever reason, that's just, I feel like that's something that people take for granted. Like,
100%. And I don't care if it's corny. You have to be grateful for what your body can do. I'll tell you a quick little story. True story. I'm not making this up. I went for a jog. It was like 2 years ago. I was out for a jog. I was in the zone, you know, feeling myself with my music, and I'm running. And I see this old man with his dog. He's walking his dog, and he's like, keeps looking.
Nice ass.
Well, yeah, after he told me that, he would never say that. I can tell that he's about to like say something to me, so I like pause my headphones, and he looks at me and said, he's like, how much are you running? And I'm like, oh, just about like 3 miles. And he's like, man, I wish I could still run. And I stopped, like the rest of that run. First of all, I was like, I really, really appreciate the fact that I could run, that my body can do these things. So it's not that I have to exercise. Oh, this sucks. Oh, it's so hard. It's look what my body can do. Yeah. I can lift things. I can jump. I can run. Why you still can, because guess what? Every single one of you eventually won't be able to.
Even you, Brian Johnson.
Damn. Calling him out like that.
Sorry, dude. Hey, you got to accept things as they are. And we always tell people here, the day you stop jumping, that's when you're officially
you're old.
Over the hill. So keep jumping. So whether you guys want to eat healthy or you want to shower yourself in candy, exercise is still the best investment you can make in yourself. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the BFit, newly called BFit Brothers podcast. And we'll see you guys next week. Happy holidays. Damn, what do we got here? Woo! Oh, I see a crybaby. Oh, I'm going to make you cry, baby.